In this particular video, we're examining the impossible choice. Is there really a such thing as an impossible choice? You know, you see in movies in all times where the bad guys, they use a good guy's family against him. And that's why you see assassins and people that have those super incredible, difficult jobs don't even create connections. They don't have family because they know that they can't focus on doing their job if their family's in danger. And not only that, it's something that can be used against them to hurt them. But what would you do if you were presented with an impossible choice? Hello, Governor. This is Rakay Steed, nupefromdaville. For Amy Pond's first adventure in the TARDIS, the Doctor takes her to the distant future, to the 29th century, where she finds Britain abandoned the Earth, there were problems, and now they're in a starship called Starship UK. Like each one of the countries had their own starship pretty much. And it now houses the future of the British people, including the Queen of England. And they're searching the stars for a new home. But when the episode opens up, we see some kids in a classroom, and they go to see one of those little, it almost looks like one of those little fortune teller booths. They call it a smiley booth. And the smiley booth is telling them how their grades were. And kids, all the kids are like, oh, you did good today. You did good today. And then it gets this one little boy, and they're like, nah, you got 0. You did crazy today. And the little girl is talking to the little boy, and she's like, you got 0? You know you can't ride the elevator with us, because if you go in the elevator, it's going to make you go to down below. And he's like, for real? And she's like, just walk on down, and I'll wait for you. I'll meet you. But little boy, being a little boy, he's hard-headed. He gets on the elevator, and it takes him down below, and then the bottom of the elevator opens up, and he falls out. Looks like he falls to his death, to whatever's down there, the beast. So when the Doctor and Amy show up, the Doctor is walking around. He's like he's curious and he's inquisitive, but he's noticing all sorts of things. He keeps telling her something's not right. He puts a glass of water down on the ground, and he's like, yeah, something ain't right. And then he notices the little girl, and he's like, look at her crying. He said, but ain't nobody coming to her aid. Nobody's asking her what's wrong. He said, you know why? Because everybody else already knows what's wrong. And it's something that they don't talk about. So he and Amy kind of go on separate paths. Amy's to go talk to the little girl. He's to go do his own investigation. While the Doctor's gone, he runs into an agent, a provocateur named Liz 10. And she seems like a rebel, but she says she's been waiting on him. She heard the stories of him, and now she needs his help to figure out what's going on. There's something wrong with the ship. And they figure out that, the engine is not running. It doesn't even seem like there is an engine on the ship. How could that be? Amy goes to visit the little girl. The little girl tells her about the little boy. And it tells her, with these places that we're not supposed to go. And Amy breaks into one of those places where she's not supposed to go. And then next thing you know, she's surrounded by some monks that look like they straight out Assassin's Creed. They knock her out, and she wakes up like in a voting booth. And she watches this video, and the video just seems to be horrible. Like there's been a lot of stuff going on. And it said at the end of the video, she's supposed to hit one button and say she wants to forget all of that, or another one says that she protests. But if she protests, there could be trouble. So she hits forget like so quick. It's not even like she thought about it. It just happened. Then another video comes on and says, you need to take the Doctor and get out of here. Don't let him investigate. Take him and get out of here right now. And then the Doctor shows up, and he's like, what's going on? And she's like, nothing. She really doesn't remember what's going on. So they find all this out, and they get surrounded by more of the little Assassin's Creed dudes, and they take the queen, and the queen is like, "What is going on?" Because there's these things that keep coming out of the ground. They look like scorpion tails or something, some deadly animal. Yes, I know what I said. I said what I said. Come to find out that the queen says that she's only been in power for 10 years. But her mask is an old school porcelain mask. It's custom fitted to her face. The doctor says this mask is about 200-300 years old. How could it be fitted to your face and be that old? Come to find out, the queen has been doing the same thing to herself. There was a space whale that is a time traveler, travel across the stars, and it volunteered to help them because of the kids. And she came up with a plan to capture it and make it help them, even though he'd already volunteered to help. But the thing about it is, their engine went out, and one day, he might decide he don't want to help. So she forced it to help. And then dosed herself so that she forgot. And every 10 to 15 years or so, she had figured out and dosed herself again. And this had been going on for years and years, where she'd been torturing his crew. The doctor got way pissed at Amy. He said, "How dare you try to take me off the ship and not let me find out what was going on? You don't make me what to do." Yeah, I know what I said. I said what I said. The doctor says there's only two choices, because what they're told is if they hit the button where the queen gives up the throne, then the whole ship would disintegrate. If they let the space whale go, or they can keep torturing the space whale and just forget. And the doctor says the only choice I got is to kill the space whale. He said, "I'll zap its brain where it can keep on riding, and just, I'll basically give it a lobotomy where it'll keep on doing what it's doing, but it won't have any knowledge, and I'm basically going to kill it." And he said, "But if I do this, I can't call myself the doctor anymore. Doctors help people." And it's Amy who starts remembering everything that the doctor said and everything that she saw. And she takes the queen's hand and hits the button to abdicate the throne. And in that, it releases the torture devices on the space whale. And the doctor is like, he's kind of pissed, because he's like, "You could have killed everybody." And she's like, "Yeah." She said, "But I realized that the space whale volunteered. He did this because of the kids. And he was old. He was lonely. He was the last of his kind." She said, "That reminds you of anyone?" Because the doctor, he got pissed with her. He was going to take Amy back to Earth as soon as this was over with. And it just, well, they were presented with an impossible choice. And it turns out that Amy, again, figured out how to make the right choice. As I looked at this particular situation with Amy and the impossible choice, what is an impossible choice? One of my favorite movies is The Mummy. Stephen Sommers directed, Brendan Fraser, Rachel Weisz. Great movie. Arnold Vosloo is Imhotep, the bad guy. But the part I'm talking about is actually the second one, the not so good, The Scorpion King, featuring Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. There's a part at the end of the movie where Imhotep has his bride, Anck-su-namun, and he's fighting Rick O'Connell, which is Brendan Fraser's character, fight to the death. And Rick's wife, Rachel Weisz, they are standing by. They might be fighting as well too. Imhotep and Rick O'Connell, they go over the edge of the cliff, and the cliff is a huge chasm, leads down to like hell or something. It's like, it's like demons or, the undead's hands trying to pull them down. And they're hanging on the side of the cliff. And both of them, crawl up to the top, and they call out to their respective wives, Imhotep is like, a Noxuna moon, I have done everything. I have gotten killed. I've got the Humdai, the worst curse, and all of the curses put on me. I've done everything to resurrect you after thousands of years because I love you that much. Now, Rick and his wife, they've been through some stuff too, and he calls out to her. Now, at this point, is that really an impossible choice? Go save your boo or save yourself. And it's one of the things to me that's like it's representative of a relationship, because even though Imhotep went in, he did everything and sacrificed himself for this woman, it wasn't mutual. And at the first sign of trouble, she did what she does, saved herself. And she's like, peace, my boy. Rick O'Connell's wife, she flew over the side to pull him up. And the look on Imhotep's face, Imhotep was so disgusted after everything he had done for this woman. And she pieced him out and didn't even think twice about coming to save him. And he saw that he'd been fighting with this man whose woman put herself on the line to come save the man that she loves. He was so disgusted, he just let himself fall into the chasm, just like, take me now. What is the impossible choice for you? Is it attached to your morality, to your integrity? Does it have a $sign attached to it? A lot of people have a hard time making the hard choice. And because some people are not hardwired to do what it takes to help other people in need. Now, that's not saying that you have to do X, Y, and Z. You don't. You are your own person. You get to make your own choices. But depending on what you believe in, do those choices follow you? Do they define your character? Do they define your life? Do they define who you are, not only in this life, but the afterlife? Who's to say? That's up to you. The impossible choice. Kill or be killed. Is that really an impossible choice? There's a quote that I love by Patrick Ness that says, choices may be unbelievably hard, but they're never impossible. To say you have no choice is to release yourself from responsibility. And that's not how a person with integrity acts. It's hard choices, but there's no impossible choice. You may think a choice is the wrong choice, but there's never an impossible choice. This is Rakai Steed, nupefromdaville. Make sure that you like, comment, share, and by all means, if you haven't done so by now, I really don't know what you're doing. Hit the subscribe button. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers, so hit the subscribe button. Subscribe immediately. Tell everybody you know to subscribe. You may get some goodness out of this. And I need viewing hours, so put this on, put a playlist on in the background, and let it roll. I appreciate you. And when we get to 1,000 subscribers, I'm going to try to have a giveaway, a little contest for the people that came on board with me as of late to push me over the hump. You got to use this. But more importantly, you got to use this too.